Easily the worst day that I have had here on the farm in 12 years. Yesterday we moved the chickens and brought them out to this coop. We were raising up like at least 100 we brought out here. And we locked them up so that they could get acclimated to their new community. And I knew that it was like fucking, I knew it was bad when I came up here and saw, I don't know, you're about to see. I knew it was bad when I saw like chicken feathers pushing against the side. And then I come in here and see that like all of these chickens are like fucking dead, dude. I guess it was the heat. We've had like some really extreme heat and adding the new birds to the coop. I don't even want to keep you in here because like it's not safe for TV really. But so I mean, we've got some that are like still alive. I don't know, man. There's a lesson here, though I'm struggling to see what it is. Thanks for your support, man. This is just part of it, you know. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I guess that's the lesson. We say that all the time. And just when you think things are going right, you're kind of back at square one. We'll be all right, man. It'll be okay. These chickens aren't okay. We'll bury them. But yep. I mean, I'm still born for this shit, man. There's a prayer that says, like, allow me to suffer and die for my people, for I care for the earth and care for my people. And I mean, we wouldn't do this if it wasn't for the people that we're feeding and the benefit that they bring to you know, a strong community. But fuck, it hurts sometimes. Like, just thinking about takeaways from like this chicken experience. This is why we stress survival skills so much. Survival skills are the root of the farm, and being able to go off into the woods with nothing and create an environment where you can thrive. That's what we teach. The farming is an extension of that. Permaculture is an extension of that. And sometimes things are going to go wrong. And say if you really needed these chickens, if you didn't have like the support of your community and grocery stores and all those things that our society is built on, how would you take care of yourself? How can you be? It's just really hard to like pull a positive away from this. There's definitely lessons in here. Nature tells you when you're wrong. And it told us we did something wrong. But again, we want to learn these lessons now so that you don't have to. So that the people that come after us can do it faster, cheaper, with less energy, so that they can regain their own abundance in nature. These lessons are what you pay for when you come to our class. I just looked at the prices of chickens again on the market. Day-old chickens, they're like $4 or $5 a piece. I don't even know how many are out there dead or unalived. There's easily, I don't know, easily $800 worth of chickens out there, but that's day-old chicks. That doesn't include the feed, the labor, the time that we had in bringing those to egg laying age. It takes a year of you feeding these chickens before they will lay their first egg. And look, the vultures are already circling. So we have all that money, all that time, all that cost. We've lost a year. And it's just really disappointing, you know? Because you think you're doing everything right. Why wouldn't it have done well? Yeah. I'm sure I'll have more thoughts here shortly. I'm a little bit away time-wise from my initial thoughts on that, the chicken coop, and I'm definitely sad, but I'm like, the adrenaline is gone, and I think I've had a moment to like reflect more. I wouldn't blame the company that designs this chicken coop at all. This is a wonderful coop. It functions so amazing. It's easy to use. It helps with the pasture. It's just a great design, and it's really reduced our labor load. But to say that with what's going on, I can understand how you don't believe me. But I just want to say that I don't think that this one incident is a reflection on the makers of this mobile coop system. And I don't want you to think that. I have give it a resounding endorsement as far as I'm concerned. It's worked really, really well up until now. And what happened yesterday is we added some more chickens to the mix. These were 2 flocks that weren't accustomed to each other, I guess. The smaller ones that we've been showing you growing out, we hatched, and then growing out, raising, and then we pulled them out of the other coop to go to this one. And so we locked them up overnight to get them acclimated and know that that's their new home. But I think that there was too much tension between those 2 flocks, and they didn't get along well. That caused them to essentially overheat because their adrenaline was pumping. We have hawk pressure all the time, and one of the guys said yesterday he was moving the bar rock chickens over, is that the other chickens maybe thought that it was a hawk because they were going crazy. But when we put them in here yesterday, they seemed happy as the storm rolls in. But yeah, again, the takeaways here are survival skills are the root of this thing. What happens if you are blown off your camp? What happens if all the work that you've done on your farm, a hurricane? I have some great friends that have inspired me to take on this project in the Virgin Islands when a storm came through. One of the hurricanes, they lost a lot of their trees, but or like the folks in Canada right now, their forests are burning. If we take deer, for example, when they're flushed off their home, they don't leave. They just make a big circle and come back to where they were. But sometimes all the vegetation is gone, and it's just not as much of a habitable environment. That's what you have to deal with, right? Sometimes you're reduced to zero, and that's just what happens. As Reed Hendricks says, the lessons we learn are written on the tombstones of others. There's definitely takeaways here for me. And I hope that my experience can help you do this faster. Just because I had this giant setback doesn't mean that I'm over this and I'm all done and it's a wrap on farming. It just means that today is a day and tomorrow is another day, and I'll be back at it because that's how much we believe in this. This is super important. We didn't get here, but like I said yesterday in the video, if you watched it, by the grace of God and determination. In our survival classes, we talk about the rule of 3. You won't last, 3 hours in exposure, but you won't last 3 seconds without a positive mental attitude and knowing that you can come back from this, and that there's nothing throughout with a good community and with a good team you can't rebuild from. That's why one homestead isn't enough to support a community. One farm isn't enough to support a community. Even in a state, not enough to support a community. Only through connections and people working towards the common goal to heal the landscape, heal communities, and leave it better than we found it. That's what we're trying to do. I hope you see that. A lot of people wouldn't show you the failures. One of my biggest gripes about YouTube is that you don't get to see where people go wrong, and everything is 100% success. It's just not true with farming. It's absolutely not true. I have failed more than I have succeeded, and today is more proof of that. It's sad because we lost, I don't even want to tell you the number of chickens that we lost, but to our customers that were buying eggs from us on the regular, we're sorry, but I'm just not going to have any for a while. I could put you in touch with our local farms, our friends at local farms, to get you those local high quality protein rich eggs, but I'm kind of out of business for a while. When it rains it pours, right? You're fine. All right, the storm's about to pass, but I just had two quick thoughts about this. One is that, like, how does this compare to a monocrop in agriculture, right? So if we have our crop go bad, everything goes bad. Uh, and there's really kind of no recovery, right? You get, what do you do, right? So that's why the importance of a diversified homestead is important in your planning process. Thankfully, I have a couple chickens, and I have more. Not a couple. I've got more than a couple. I've got a couple handfuls of chickens left that'll still lay, and then I have a whole lot more that are coming up. But if I didn't, like, what would I do? If I was only a chicken farmer, I'd be out of all revenue streams. So the regenerative agriculture design is that, like, I'm still in the cow business, I'm still in the goat business, I'm still in the bee business. Our greenhouse is popping, the garden is doing great. The sawmill and the cabinet and the wood shop products that we put out in the cabinet shop, we still have all these revenue streams that'll allow us to keep going. Where if we were only relying on those chickens, we'd be done. So I think it's really important that you diversify your homestead, just like you diversify your portfolio, right? All your eggs aren't supposed to be in one basket, because that really doesn't lend itself to the most healthy of ecosystems, whether that ecosystem is your portfolio or the ecosystem. And it's funny because, like, the root of economy and ecosystem is the same. It's like Greek for home, right? So how you manage your homestead, how you manage your portfolio, it's all the same. And this tragedy with the chickens just highlighted the need for diversification in everything that you do. And the second is refinement and the path of, like, constant improvement and how can we do better. I don't want that to happen again. Not by the financial expense so much, but, like, those were lives, dude. That really, they essentially, like, innocent chickens, right? And things that, and they weren't used to their highest and best value. And when we're wasting stuff like that, I think that's just kind of unconscionable. How can I do better? There's lots of ways. And we will do better in the future, believe. This is not a trend. And it's definitely not a habit that we're going to pick up. But we just got to keep refining our systems, keep doing better and better over the time. And remember that, like, two is one and one is none. Also, in bird language, this is something that I thought about while I was taking a John Young class one time. He said that sometimes, like, if you walk across a whippoorwill in the evening, where there's lots of, like, ground nesting birds and things that just eat enough calories to kind of get them through the night, so that they can go on their next day. And if you scare them, and if you're just, like, tromping up through their nest, like, you might have killed that bird. And I don't really know where I was going with that, but life is fragile, and as a caretaker, it's not a good look. It doesn't feel good. We'll get through it, and we'll do better tomorrow, because that's what we have to do. But it doesn't mean we're sad about it. It doesn't mean that we're not sad about it, because I definitely am. This is a big setback.